So this week I want to discuss with you guys if being poor costs more money. So as I mentioned before, I came from humble beginnings and I know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. I also know what it's like to try to get by when times are tough. So there's really three things I feel have a big impact on your overall expenses. And if you can work on these three big areas, you're going to save yourself a lot of money. So let's get to it. So number one is food. So food is a big expense, and there's lots of ways we can try to cut that expense. Now, one of the first things you may think of when things are difficult and tight is you may only buy as much as you need. So although that's important to do, if you can save a little bit of money and buy in bulk, overall, you're going to get more value for your dollar. So at Costco, you normally need to buy a membership. So there's a few different membership options that they offer. So what I have done in the past is I have shared my membership with my family. So we're two families that share a membership. Now this may or may not be available today. I would have to look into it. But at the time, as long as the people lived at the same address, you could have the same membership. So that's something you may want to look into. Worst case, just buy the cheapest membership. If you go there maybe once a month or every couple of months, buy in bulk. Certain things may be more expensive, so you need to watch out for those things as well. But overall, I think if you buy in bulk, you're going to save a lot more money. Buying larger portions, although initially more expensive, will last you a lot longer, so you don't have to buy it as often. Another thing is the small grocery stores in your neighborhood often cost more money. So if you need something conveniently, you can go there for a few items. But if you're really looking at saving money, I would go to those bigger box stores because it's going to help you more over the long run to save you the most money. Another tip is if you also want to stay healthier is staying away from the inner aisles, because those inner aisles are more processed foods. They're more expensive as well. They may not be necessary. So yeah, you want to, treat yourself once in a while for sure. But if you stick around the outer aisles, so more in the meat and dairy and the real foods, you'll get more value for your money. You won't be focusing or spending so much on the stuff that doesn't really give you much nutrition. Another thing is during periods of stress, we may choose unhealthier foods. So we may eat takeout more often and maybe get more ice cream and things like that at the grocery store. So I say this because I'm guilty of it myself. So what you want to do is you want to be mindful of this, and you want to focus on techniques that will reduce your stress. So whatever that is for you, and maybe exercise or meditation. So those are ways you can help reduce your stress. Some ways you can help save yourself money at the grocery stores as well is look for online coupons or coupons and flyers you get in the mail, because every dollar or cent will matter in the end, and it adds up. Sometimes you can use multiple coupons. I remember years ago, I was part of this couponing group. The coupons we were using were more like in regards to like soap and like things like that, less maybe in regards to food items. But still, if you can save with soaps and things like that, at least it'll help overall. So maybe look into couponing groups in your area and look at coupons and flyers and see what's on sale that week, because that's when you want to stock up on those sale items. Another tip is if you want to buy in bulk, but the bulk items are just way too much for your family, you can maybe go in with another family or a friend so that you can buy these items in bulk and save money and share them between yourselves. Lastly, you want to eat at home more. So you're going to save a lot of money if you just cook at home. So finish what you have in the pantry, be creative, make some recipes with your loved ones at home, try something new, and keep it interesting. So the second thing I believe keep people poor is health. So being healthy is going to save you the most money. Think of this. You won't need to spend money on medication. You won't be missing work because you're sick. So it's really important to stay as healthy as we can. So staying healthy requires us to stay at peace, being less stressed, having coping mechanisms such as meditation, yoga, relaxation techniques, self-care. So those are all things that are really important. Now, if we focus on our health, we all can agree that our healthcare systems can not be the best. So here in Canada, we have a free healthcare system, which is great. The only thing is that because it's free, there's a lot of long wait times. Tests can take a long time to get appointments for. I believe a lot of healthcare systems out there have flaws. So the important thing is you want to try to stay as healthy as possible so you can avoid to have to go into the hospital, get tests done, or require any medication, because all these things will overall save you more money because you won't need to spend money on these medications. So things we can do to stay healthy also would be to prioritize exercise. So exercise is free. You can go for a walk. There's a lot of places that offer you the opportunity to work for them and put in some hours to get a free membership. So I've known of a few places that are offering yoga classes, for example. And if you're willing to spend time with them, maybe put in 5 to 10 hours a week, you can go to as many yoga classes as you wish. So that will save you money on classes and you won't have to pay anything out of pocket. You just have to put a little bit of your time. There's also a lot of places that offered very cheap gym memberships. So the one that comes to mind would be like Fit for Less here in Canada. So I believe they're like $10 by week. They'd have to look it up, but they are quite a bit cheaper than everywhere else. So that would be another option if you want to exercise at a gym, but you don't want to spend a lot of money. Another thing that you can do is maybe even put some part-time hours at a gym, get paid for it, and get a free membership. So that's something that I've done in the past as well. So that will give you more options, will make you money, and you don't have to pay any membership costs. And the third thing I believe costs people more money and keeps them poor is bank fees. So coming from working at the bank myself, I have seen people struggle and I have seen people pay a lot of money in fees. So just think of it. If you don't have an overdraft account, so if you don't have that safety net, if something goes through your account and your account goes in the negative, the bank is going to charge you, most of them will charge you $35 if that happens. It's really important for you to maybe have that overdraft protection so you can pay less. Although overdraft protection is at a very high interest rate, it's 20% on average, 21% on average. Just be aware of those extra fees because overall it will cost you more money. Another thing is credit card interest rates. So on average, people pay about 24% annually on their credit cards. So one thing you can look into is seeing if your bank offers a lower interest rate credit card, because most of them do. And if you switch your card to that, at least you'll be saving interest. So if you know you're not going to be able to pay your balance off every month because it's been tough, then look into a lower interest rate credit card. They're usually low in annual fees as well. So another thing that costs people a lot more money is if they've had hiccups in their credit in the past, because that will usually cost them more interest overall. So for example, if you need to get a car and you've had some hiccups that were quite significant, so you'll miss some payments and you might be overdrawn, things like that. So what the bank's going to look at is they're going to see that as risk and your interest will be higher. So if you can stay on top of those things, you can keep yourself at the lowest interest rate possible so that you can avoid paying higher interest. And if it's too late, then you can also maybe consider using a cosigner. So if you have a friend or a family member that is willing to go on the loan with you, and if their credit is much better, then that would help you and your chances of getting a lower interest rate as well. Check cashing places, payday loans. These places will make you poor because if you're going to cash your check with them, their fees are so high that you're going to give away half of your paycheck to them. So do not go to these places. I will suggest to you, just borrow money temporarily from a friend or a family member if you really are struggling, but do not go to these places. One thing you can do to help yourself from paying as much interest is by getting a consolidation loan. What you can do is you can go to your bank and tell them these are the things I want to pay off. They will give you one loan and pay everything off for you. So that's one way you can save on interest. Now, some people, what they may do is they may get, if you're a homeowner, a home equity line of credit. So people may consolidate their debt on that, or may even buy large ticket items on that as well, which I personally do not recommend, and I'll tell you why. Home equity lines of credit, which are secured against your house, are demand loans. So that means that the bank can ask you to pay it off at any time. Most people do not know this. These often are at a variable rate as well, and they fluctuate with prime. Now, interest rates are quite high, so I know this might be appealing to go with that home equity line of credit, but just keep in mind that the bank would demand that you pay this loan in full at any time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have found this to be helpful. I know we may be going through tough times, and I want to help people with ideas as to how they can try to help save themselves money, interest, and, because everyone's been there. I've been there myself. So I'm hoping that things will get easier, interest rates will go down. We should see this next year from what I hear. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and listen to the end. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions on any future videos as well, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.